headed into week number 7 of the high school football season. This is our Intermedia Game of the Week preview show. I'm Dan Ramey. He's the icon Mike Smith and the play-by-play voice of the game, along with B.J. Daly. And Mr. Hand 2 is reclining back in his producer chair over to my left.
Yeah.
Mr. Aaron Glandon. This week, we have Bloom-Carroll and Logan Elm. Both these teams playing for first place in the Mid-State League Buckeye.
Last of the conference unbeatens in MSL Buckeye, 3-0.
A couple of pretty good teams, too. And we will get more in depth with them here in just a bit. But we want to first look back on a wacky weekend last week. Some of the games got played on Friday. Some of them were moved. Most of them were moved to Saturday. But let's take a look at how things played out first. In our Intermedia Game of the Week Saturday morning, turned out to be Miami Trace picking up a 44-27 win over Hillsboro. And this was a back-and-forth contest. I was thinking it was going to be a track meet before halftime.
Yeah, a lot of, what did I say, 738
yards
total between the two teams.
Yeah. And so Miami Trace took the lead just before halftime on a field goal. Then Hillsboro comes out, first possession, marches right down the field, but then that was pretty much it. Miami Trace took care of keeping them at bay and picked up that win. Jackson, no problem with McLean, 55-0. Washington and Chillicothe went down to the wire, and it came out really with a couple of missed PATs.
Kind of like Cleveland Browns.
Very much.
I didn't want to bring that in, but I had to.
Yeah, it fits, absolutely. Yeah. But the Cavaliers still looking for their first win of the season, and the Blue Lions did pick up their first win of the year. All right, now on to the SVC. Paint Valley, they are flexing their muscle against everybody they play. 37-0. They are a winner over Adena, and Scioto is keeping pace with them. 21-12 win over Piketon. St. Trace takes Huntington handily, and Westfall Southeastern played a tight contest, 11-8 there.
Yeah, Paint Valley, Scioto, and St. Trace all unbeaten in the conference. Three-way tie.
Fighting for who's going to have dominance in the league. On to the Mid-State League Buckeye, which will feature Bloom-Carroll and Logan Elm as the top two teams right now, both of them picking up handily wins there this past weekend. Hamilton Township trying to keep pace, and Amanda Clear Creek. That was a close contest. Marietta played Circleville. This was a non-league game just due to the fact that they lost Tays Valley from the Mid-State League, so the scheduling is off just a little bit for everybody. But that win for Marietta, did they not come from behind and beat Circleville?
I believe that is correct, yeah.
And that's the second straight week, right?
Second time it's happened to the Tigers, right?
All right, on to the OCC Buckeye Division. Tays Valley keeps cranking. A 21-14 win over Groveport. Pickerington Central is tough. They were a 42-7 winner over Lancaster. Reynoldsburg, a winner over Logan. And Canal Winchester knocks off Newark. I was kind of surprised by that score.
Yeah, the Vikings in their brand new, well, new for them, OCC, undefeated, but they've got Pick Central and Canal ahead of them.
Absolutely. So we'll see the toughness of Brian Cross's team over the next couple of weeks here. Eastern Pike was a winner over East. So these first two games here were moved to Saturday. Waverly blanking Oak Hill. Lucasville Valley was a winner over Northwest. That was played on Friday night. And Wheelersburg, this is their fourth loss on the season, falling to Harvest Prep, which is pretty good. Let's not forget that as well. In the TVC, Vinton County blanks Alexander. Wellston, a winner over River Valley. Nelsonville York takes Meggs. And another non-league game, Athens, a winner over Warren Local. And finally, Portsmouth blanks Chesapeake, along with Colegrove, a winner over Gallia Academy. So that's a review of this past weekend's games. Any big surprises there for you?
Not really. Just based on what we actually, Tays Valley.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, including yours truly, thought, oh my, they're going to get clobbered this first year in the OCC. But so far, they're 3-0. Now, they've got two toughies out there ahead of them, but I'm not sure a lot of people thought they'd be 3-0 in the OCC right now. So.
And Grove City was their opener, and that was a tough ball game. But they lost their top running back. And next thing you know, you're sitting here asking yourself, what is the future of – they've got these young kids now to have to lead them through the OCC. And so far, they're getting it done.
Amazing what a little confidence can do for you.
Absolutely.
Get that steam ball rolling down the court.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the league standings before we jump into our next segment here. For the Mid-State League Buckeye Division, this is the only one we're going to look at standings on. Bloom-Carroll and Logan Elm, as we mentioned, they are standing on top.
3-0, and of course they're going head-to-head. So after this Friday, only one team will be unbeaten in the conference.
Right.
Hamilton Township. Now, this is not a typo. Keep in mind what Dan said earlier. Because Tays Valley is no longer in the league, they're still a team short from where they were. So not everybody can play a conference game every Friday night. So Hamilton Township is the lone one-loss team at this time, but everybody else has 2 losses.
All right, so that's the stage set for the next 2 segments of the program. A visit with the head coaches. First with Bloom-Carroll's Jeremy McKinney, and coming up in a bit, Terry Holbert for the Logan Elm Braves, as we continue with the Intermedia Game of the Week preview show.
Our financial lives have never been more complex, and some decisions just can't wait, which is why our K&B Mobility app gives you instant access to the financial tools you need wherever you are. Get a clear picture of all of your accounts, check your daily transactions, receive account alerts, and much more. So no matter where you are or what you are doing, you can make the best decisions for you and your financial goals. Download our Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, oh, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
Mark came to the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc. Minimally invasive spinal surgery got him back to what matters most. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Serving Central and Southern Ohio for more than 4 decades. Give them a call for your needs at Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
92 years of serving propane users in Southern and Central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people at Litter Quality Propane. Up next on the Litter Media Game of the Week preview show is the head coach of the Bulldogs from Bloom-Carroll, hosting the Logan Elm Braves. That's Jeremy McKinney. Good to have you back with us again. And we haven't seen you since week 1, and you've made a couple of adjustments along the way, but you come in 5-1, 3-0 in the league, and you're feeling pretty good about yourself, which you should be.
I think anytime you can start league play 3-0, I think that's a pretty good thing for us. So we like where we're at right now.
Yeah, of course, you two have battled it out the last couple of years for the league championship, and so a lot on the line as you get together this Friday.
Yeah, Coach Holbert and his staff doing an amazing job. With the guys down there. And then actually our offensive coordinator from the last 2 years from Logan Elm went back home this year. So Coach Heater returned to Logan Elm where he's the all-time leading rusher. So I'm sure he knows us very well, and I feel like we know them pretty well too at this point.
Yeah. When we have seen you, of course, Anthony Vong is the motor for your team, but he has a lot of weapons to use. How has he progressed now in his senior year? Because the experience of he and the experience of Walters on the other side, we can't wait to see this match.
Sure. I think the biggest difference this year with Ethan is like now he knows, and it's totally on his shoulders, and I don't want to put that kind of pressure on him. But as a sophomore, we had some people around him that were awfully talented, and we weren't asking a sophomore to do too much. Last year, it was a little more on him, but we still had some Division I football players out there with him. And going into this year, we knew that we were going to have to lean on his abilities and his talents more than we've ever had in the past. He's accepted that. He's embraced it. He wants that. He probably would have, if he was on here with us, he'd tell you he would have wanted that as a sophomore too. But that's why he is the quarterback that he is.
Yeah. Bo Sherman is somebody that I was expecting to see run the football a lot. And when we saw you against Chillicothe, but he made his effort on defense and on special teams.
Yeah. So actually, he took another punt back last week against Fairfield Union in the muck. He took a 71-yard punt back. So he has 3 punt returns for touchdowns now this season. I think he's averaging close to it's something insane. It's almost 30 yards a punt return. But he's playing more running back, like we spoke about, kind of adjusted a couple things offensively. So he is playing more running back, but with Jude Blair, that he's really carrying the ball more for us just so that Bo doesn't have to play on both sides if we don't need him to.
Yeah. And when you can get those kids some rest, it's very valuable for him, isn't it?
Yes.
Tell us about your defense, how it's been performing, and we know that Logan Elm is going to test that defense.
Yeah, and they always do. The thing with Logan Elm is they're going to force you to defend a lot. They a lot of different formations, different personnels. They can throw the ball well. Walters is a heck of a quarterback. They can run the ball well. The running back has over 1,000 yards rushing so far. So they really do force you to be sound in your scheme and what you're trying to do. For our defense, I think right now we're running the ball pretty well. Which is a big emphasis for us. It always has been. And we're making some plays in the backfield, which helps. Anytime you can get teams in down and distance situations that they don't want to be in, that's a little bit how your defense can take over at that point, or at least dictate more what's happening versus reacting to what's happening.
And having 2 experienced quarterbacks, as you both do, clock management becomes much easier, and they're field generals, and they pretty much know what coach wants them to do. Yeah,
I mean, at this point for us, I'm sure Aaron's that way with Coach Holbert, but for us, I mean, Ethan's been out there so long now that it really is just like talking to another. If we had the mics in the helmets like the NFL and college guys do, it would be no different than that. Because I think this is his. What would we be now for him?
It'll be closing out 40 games.
Yeah, it's getting close. I think it's 37 or 38 as the starting quarterback.
That's a lot of experience.
It is. It is. And like we were talking about, and that we can lean on that because there's not a whole lot of guys that have that experience and have had that kind of success with that experience too. He's been. We've had some pretty good seasons with him at quarterback.
We have not been to your place for a couple of years, and I think the last time we were there, you got the new lighting system. Still flashing those lights when you score a touchdown.
Yeah. They'll still flip the switches on the lights for the. So since the last time you hear new turf and then new press box last year, so it's a much more spacious press box now. There's actually 2 levels. Like there's a raised level to it now too, so there's a little more room for everybody in there now. They did a great job with that last summer.
No wonder there's more room. Larry Hergis says we wouldn't have any problem having you here. Come on.
Yeah. We always, anytime you guys want to come up.
That's great. Well, we'll certainly be there Friday. Looking forward to seeing the battle between BC and LE, and we appreciate your time today.
All right, thank you very much.
More of the Litter Media Game of the Week preview show coming up right after this.
Our financial lives have never been more complex, and some decisions just can't wait, which is why our K&B Mobility app gives you instant access to the financial tools you need wherever you are. Get a clear picture of all of your accounts, check your daily transactions, receive account alerts, and much more. So no matter where you are or what you are doing, you can make the best decisions for you and your financial goals. Download our Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway-Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway-Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
At Country Clipper, pride runs deep. We take pride in knowing our mowers help create a space for families to make memories. That our features transform mowing into an enjoyable experience. Most importantly, we take pride in knowing the decision to purchase a Country Clipper will be one you can be proud of for years to come. Country Clipper zero-turn mowers.
Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
Up next on the Litter Media Game of the Week preview show, we have Terry Holbert, head coach of the Logan Elm Braves, winners of 3 straight since we saw you last, and 5-1 on the season, looking to pick up another win. You've got Bloom-Carroll this week. It's on the road this time, Coach, and tell us about the progress you've made over the last 3 weeks here since we last saw you against Miami Trace.
I think that it's certainly been an upward trend over the last 3 weeks, and like I had mentioned at that point in time, if you can learn from defeat, I mean, sometimes that's life's greatest teacher. And I think our kids have really responded well. And we've just really grown and been improving over the course of these last 3 weeks. So really excited to have the opportunity to play in this game again with all the meaning and everything behind it, and first place on the line in our league, but a lot of other implications as well. And I told our team earlier this week, this is the 3rd year in a row you've earned the opportunity to be in this game, but it's a great challenge that lies ahead and one that we're excited for.
You and Bloom-Carroll have had common opponents here the last couple of weeks in Fairfield Union and Liberty Union, and in some respects, those probably confidence-building victories that you've both had as well, winning them handily. And that being said, what do you need to accomplish against Bloom-Carroll? Because just like Logan Elm, high explosive offense, but I'm guessing that defensive pressure is going to be important for you.
Absolutely. I mean, it's an excellent ball club, excellent team that we're going to face on Friday. And, from an offensive standpoint, they put up a tremendous amount of points. They have a very veteran quarterback. They're solid up front. He's got a lot of athletes that he distributes it to. And they've kind of changed a little bit of the structure of their offense. I mean, there's a lot of similarities, but they throw it a little bit more than they have in the last couple of years. And so that will test us. That will test our secondary. And we'll really have to step up and make some adjustments and play really well in that regards of the defense. Our run defense has been pretty stout, pretty solid, and they will get a great test as well. And then from our offensive standpoint, going against their defense, Bloom has a stout defense, and so that presents a great challenge for us offensively. But really, really excited about the opportunities that lie ahead.
As we come into this contest, both sides, you've got experienced quarterbacks who you just can't give up on because they give you a fighting chance all the way to the final horn.
Absolutely. I mean, Aaron for us is a 3 and 4 year starter, 4-year letter winner, and nothing beats experience. This is not the first type of these games that he's played on. So we will lean on him heavily and his veteran presence and the calmness that he brings. And he's going to have to play well, and he's going to have to play big for us to be successful on Friday.
Speaking of playing big, Michael Bach, man, he had a huge night for you this past Friday night.
Yeah, Michael's he's special. I mean, does all of the little things so well. The work that he puts in outside of the field of play, everybody has the opportunity now to see such a small snippet of that on Friday nights. But Saturday's game, Friday's game, the conditions were certainly less than ideal. I mean, it was a sloppy mess out there, so there was no secret what we were going to do. But to be able to hand the ball to him 38 times, rush for close to 300 yards, one, that says a lot about him, but our offensive line has really been playing well as well, and they've done a tremendous job.
You'll be on turf, so no mud to worry about this weekend. The weather should be a little nicer. We like that idea.
Yes,
but you take a look at your offense, you've got a great group of receiving core. I would put them up against anybody. They've done some fantastic things for you, and you may need them certainly this coming Friday.
Them, I think, is the key word in what you just said. You know, we do a great job of spreading the ball around. Aaron does a great job of getting a lot of different guys involved. And, you know, I like to think that our system by default does that. You know, we have a lot of progression read throws, and a lot of different receivers are involved, and they'll be huge on Friday. You know, the ability to throw in rhythm, throw with great timing is going to be huge to the success on Friday night.
You have a great asset in Maggie Wilson. I mean, this kid comes in, does a fantastic job, but she doesn't quite have the range that what we're going to see out of Bloom-Carroll's kicker. This young man, Trayton McKee, he can help you get points outside the 40-yard line, and that has to be a concern for anybody that they play.
Yeah, you know, special teams is the third phase of a game, and when you're talking specifically field goals and extra points, those are points downs. They're hugely important. Maggie is fantastic. You know, she is a 3-sport fall athlete, not 3-sport athlete. She runs cross country. She plays soccer. And when she was coming off the field, you know, our game got bumped to Saturday, and I gave her a high five. And I noticed that she had just had her nails done for home. We had our homecoming dance on Saturday night. And I told her, I said, you have to have the best looking nails in the Mid-State League in football. And I refrained from giving her any more high fives because I didn't want her to break a nail or anything. But she's been nearly perfect with extra points. And if we need to use her in situations where we can get 3 points, you know, we're certainly not afraid to do that.
It's important to be consistent as a special teams kicker. And when she's carrying the load that she does by being a girl in a man's game, so to speak, she holds her own. There's no question there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Terry, good luck to you Friday, and we will see you then.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Coming up, we'll catch up with Jeremy McKinney on the Litter Media Game of the Week preview show.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance on and off the track.
All right, well, here we go, baby. Wall on your left, tree to your right, hard left, get on the gas, going for the win. There you go.
That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When insuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Serving our area for more than 4 decades, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. If you click on any ad on our website, you'll find more information. AccurateHVAC.com.
Find a career you love with Pickaway-Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway-Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Litter Quality Propane, custom tank colors and wraps as well. Find out how a propane tank can be beautiful at litterpropane.com, where there's no bill when there's a fill. Contact Litter Quality Propane today about their metered gas service at litterpropane.com. Well, coming up in a moment, we'll talk a little bit more about the Logan Elm Bloom-Carroll game. But first, we want to tell you about our Neil Coleman Insurance, Wyandotte Mutual, Litter Media Game of the Week, or I should say Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And that is Unioto's Blake Hoops.
Yeah, he broke the school program record for all-time receptions with his first reception in the 21-12 win over Piketon last week. Blake now has 140 career receptions, and a number of those he caught from his brother Newt, who, of course, graduated and is going on to college. But I know I saw a tag that Newt said, "Congrats, bro."
Glad I helped pave the way for that, right?
So congratulations to Blake on that big honor.
Yeah, I know when some of the quarterbacks go into the Hall of Fame, they use so many wide receivers and tight ends as their receivers, and running backs, I guess, as well. But all those guys helped get me here.
Yeah.
They need to remember that. Much like, and the offensive line who protected me to be able to make those completions. So congratulations to Blake Hoops, this week's Player of the Week. Coming up, some more words about Logan Elm Bloom-Carroll as the Litter Media Game of the Week preview show continues.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When insuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Pain was interfering with Tiffany's active lifestyle. Same-day hip replacement at the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute got her back to the community she calls home. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good. Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
Coming up, it is our Litter Media Game of the Week, and that will be Bloom-Carroll hosting the Logan Elm Braves. And Braves, I want to take a look at speed bumps here, if that's all right, Mike. Mm-hmm. Braves are winners of 3 straight since their speed bump, and that was Miami Trace. And for Bloom-Carroll, 4 straight wins since their speed bump in Tays Valley.
Right. I was just thinking back to last season when we had these two teams matched up at Logan Elm. That was our broadcast game that Friday night. Mm-hmm. And frankly, Bloom spanked them. So we're thinking, okay, Bloom's going to run the table. And then Hamilton Township knocks off Bloom-Carroll.
Right.
on basically a field goal. And then Hamilton comes to Logan Elm, and Logan Elm absolutely put the wood to him.
Plus, it was a rainy night, and the top dog for Hamilton at the time, he couldn't handle the mud, apparently.
Yeah. So that's why you had tri-champions last year in the Mid-State League Buckeye. And as we've already told you with the records, Logan Elm and Bloom, the last of the conference unbeatens, but Logan Elm has Hamilton Township out ahead of them. Bloom-Carroll has Hamilton out ahead of them. So even though everybody else except Hamilton has 1 loss, this is a tough league. Everybody's competitive, and as was learned by a couple of teams last year, don't go in anywhere taking them lightly, or you may be on the L side of that equation.
Precisely. So one of them wants to end up being a leg up as we see a final for you on Friday evening. And we're grateful to know that the weather is supposed to be much nicer than it was last week. And
a new press box. I'm really grateful for that.
Yes.
'Cause I was in their old press box on a couple of occasions, and it was tough seeing the fields.
Yeah. And the offense will look a little different than what we saw against Chillicothe, because as Jeremy McKinney told us in the interview, we kind of stepped away from the air attack we were wanting to use after the Tays Valley contest. So it served them well the last 4 games, picking up 4 straight wins. All right. game is on the way. You be ready for it. We'll have Litter Media radio coverage starting about 6:50 here on Litter Media Radio, for those of you listening to the radio right now. But you want to go back and watch this show as well and get prepared for this big matchup between the Braves and the Bulldogs. For Mike Smith, Mr. Hantu, and for our head coaches, I'm Dan Ramey. Thanks for watching this edition of Litter Media Game of the Week Preview Show.